a world where nuclear war has begun, vampires fought back in super real 3D.
Hey guys, I'm in the dark right now because I'm about to test this new light out on a new thing that I got that I've never tried. It's the Westcott Eyelighter 3. This is supposed to produce an amazing catch light. You can't see it in this camera, but you can see it in this camera. That I've got this huge kind of almost clamshell shaped bounce that's happening. Right now it's set up on silver. There's also white. It's got like 3 different settings. I'm just testing this for the first time. I've got a aperture Amarin 100D running into a Godot softbox with a grid, and I'm just gonna bounce this one single light off of here, and then it's gonna reflect up in here, and I should have a catch light running under my eyes in the similar shape that's gonna match the shape of the eye because it's circular, and hopefully it also uplifts all these ugly ass shadows under my face and I just look amazing and beautiful. Let's see what we've got. We're gonna gradually increase the temperature. I am using my Sidus app to run this Amarin. I'm gonna gradually bring up the intensity. I'm looking in the monitor now, and now that I'm lit, I can try to figure out my focus point. There, it looks like now I'm in focus. Now, how can I tell that I'm in focus? See the distance, guys, on this camera of where I'm at in my Canon EOS R5 C. And the only reason I can see, I have it at a 1.4 aperture right now, which is kind of ridiculous for this test, on an 85mm lens, but I can see, in theory, hopefully this is right, my focus peaking is on, I can see the pupils lit up red on the Portkeys 5 monitor that I've now bought. If I was running just the Canon EOS R5 C's LCD, I mentioned in my last video, that I feel like it's really possibly the weakest part of the camera. Is just I've had a lot of trouble pulling focus on it. I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole, but this monitor is super bright. For right now, we are just focused on this. So right now, I've raised my light. This is a 5600 Kelvin light. I'm running in 5600 Kelvin on here. This is XF-AVC being filmed into the Canon EOS R5 C. And I'm bringing, this is mixed lighting environment as well. As you can tell by this camera, I've got a bunch of those Philips Hue lights that I can control from an app on my phone as well. This is the laboratory that we've been using for the movie Cue the Muses. So I've got an extreme amount of mixed lighting. I don't know where it's gonna fall. My main thing is I just wanna see how it lights at my face. I'm holding my phone in front of part of the panel. I'm gonna look in the monitor here and see. Now in theory, I should have turned the waveform monitor on that monitor. In fact, I'm gonna turn on the waveform monitor on this monitor right now. Now I've got that up, and I can see from this distance, which would be impossible just trying to use the Canon EOS R5 C. This is a 5.5 inch LCD. So it looks like I'm, actually, let's see here. See how this wave, woo, I'm bright, I'm bright now. That'd be a bit much. So probably something about here, if I'm reading that right. I should have looked at it a little closer to see where 70 IRE is. When you're using a waveform monitor for Caucasian skin in general, you want to place the light right around 70 IRE. If you're just going for the normal lit look, not overly lit, not underlit, the 70 IRE is kind of the area that you'd want to be placed at. So I'm curious what this looks like. It looks like I'm a little out of focus. I'm going to bend back a little bit, and you guys are getting tired of this out of focus shot. And I can see, it looks like the focus peaking has my pupils in right now, so in theory, this is in focus. And here, this is the silver. So the next thing I'm gonna try is I'm gonna go ahead and put the white on, which attaches with just Velcro. So I believe the previous models, you had to rebuild the whole thing, which not that this was that complicated to put together. I think this is roughly, I don't know what the old one was like actually, but this, for my first time ever build, I built it in under 5 minutes, figuring out just how the pegs kind of locked in. And I feel pretty confident I could put this together in 2 minutes. So that's not bad at all. You're gonna have to use a long lens to be able to pull this, using this off in a video. Right now we're on a full frame camera on this, and I'm using the 85 to achieve this at this distance. You can see the distance that's happening here. However, I believe if I had a 50mm on and then put it in super crop, super 35mm crop on the Canon EOS R5 C, which you can do, that would probably put this, we'd probably be avoiding this as well. So anyway, let's change this out to white. I'm gonna go ahead and just for it to have it, so we can test and post, I'm gonna go ahead and overexpose me a bit because I'm still kind of learning about highlights. on the Canon EOS R5 C, and how XF-AVC can handle it. I really enjoyed the extra bump, I believe a full stop almost, of dynamic range that I've been able to achieve in the RAW setting. But right now, I'm just keeping the data load light. I've got so much going on, I don't want to deal with RAW files, so we're going XF-AVC. This is just the single light bouncing right here. Now we're going to try a white diffuser on here, or white bounce, I'm sorry. All right, so I have just opened up my white bounce here, and it's gold on the other side, so you got that gold look. All this comes in the kit. Again, the Westcott Eyelighter 3, as I look back over at it again. And there's Velcro along here. I saw this in a video, that's why I know to do it for the first time, even though it is my first time. I have seen YouTube videos of people sharing this, and I really like the results. However, what I had come across was photographers using it, not video guys. Now, a catch light is an important thing. When you're watching shows, if you are new to this kind of idea, look in the eye of every single actor in every close shot with their head. There's almost always, like 99% of the time, a light source bouncing around in their pupil or on their eye, somewhere around their iris or something. And what that is, this is the white bounce. I'll need to get my phone so I can control this light. And what that is it makes the eye come alive. Like it just really brings the attention into the eye, and it's a classic thing done in all shows and all movies where there's always a catch light. When you have different light sources, this is one thing that's a little bit like not that amazing about general just circular soft boxes or octagon boxes. They don't really create the most interesting eye light, the most interesting catch light, whatever you want to call it. Either one works. And so having a shape that kind of goes in, that's why a ring light got real popular, because it kind of went around the eye and it follows the eye. My ring light's pretty interesting actually, and I'm not going to demonstrate it at the moment because it's not up, but you can turn it off into 4 quadrants. So it's not so obvious that it's a ring light. You can actually just turn on like the top and bottom, then you put a catch light here and a catch light there, and that's pretty cool. Anyway, this bounce though, and the way that this works, this is going to take away all the shadows. That's very different than just pushing a light directly onto the person's face. Now this light is definitely spilling on me. I'm not adjusting positions right now, so we're this is a really midnight test, like I've already said. Just trying to get some general concept here, something that I can check and post. Right now, the light intensity on the 100D is at 100%. And according to the waveform monitor, like I've said, I mean, it looks like I'm actually okay, but according to the visual that I'm seeing, I look super bright. Definitely pulling away all funness of the background and the colors and stuff because this is so bright. By bringing this down, I mean, right now on the monitor by eye, this looks a lot better. But according to the waveform monitor, if I'm reading it correctly from here, which is a new test, it does look like I am underexposed. And again, when I went back over to the Canon R5 C, I got to turn focus peaking back on. I'm like, that's why, guys, I'm leaning my head in and out so much. I'm trying to find my focus peaking, and I keep forgetting that I turned it off when I'm checking my playback here. So obviously, very sloppy test. I apologize, but you can either hang out with me or not while I'm doing this, and you can see what this thing does. All right, so there, I can tell. That should be in focus, man, which is great. Like a 1.5 lens, and I can see on the monitor that far away, the focus peaking. I do like that. I'll have to learn more about, because it's such a bright screen, the proper exposure. It's a little deceiving, but it is great that it can get that bright, and I really can't wait to test it outside, because the R5 C monitor outside, filming and logging with your LUT on it, it's just still challenging, man, to figure out the exact right exposure. You start putting the waveform monitor up on the small monitor that it is, takes up a lot of real estate, makes it kind of hard. It can be in the way of where the subject is that you're trying to pull focus on. There's just things you turn it on and off, and then you missed your shot, because even that split second, I mean, we're talking about, you miss things. You're trying to stay on it. Okay, so 50%. Here we're going to go down to 17. This is super low. There shouldn't even be much of a bounce. Now the theory behind the white bounce versus the silver is, one, intensity. The silver is going to be a lot more reflective, and it should be a little bit it's a little bit more exaggerated potentially. This white should be a lot more natural looking. And so we will see. I'm feeling like I probably, to give this the most extreme test, I should probably have this pointed more down and this angled a little bit more towards me. But we are going to ride it out like this. I will be using this setup for other things. I'll keep you updated on the different ways to use it properly, but this is what it looks like in white. We're at 58%, now let's go down to 30%. I can't imagine going below that. This has got to be underexposed. It doesn't feel like there's that much brightness here. I guess something to do would be to pull this thing out of the equation altogether so we could actually see what the difference is between here. Let's bring the light back up. Let's put it around here. I'm gonna keep standing here. I'm gonna take this thing and I'm gonna just move it to the side. Pretty light. And here's what I look like without it. So I guess I can see the shadow, what's happening with my eye light. I haven't moved anywhere. I've just pulled that in and out. And I pulled it out. I'm gonna put it back in. There's the white. Am I in focus? There, somewhere around there. Such a thin, it's so stupid of me to put this on a 1.4 aperture. I don't know why I'm riding the line like that. But hey, there it is. That was that. So I'm gonna pull this off. This is how quickly we can change its tune. So now we're back to silver. Feels nice. I mean, I gotta say, it doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels, there's like a thickness to the fabric that's nice. So now we got silver. This should be more intense. It looks like it's more intense, I believe. I'm gonna drape this over. I'm trying not to move. Okay, now we're gonna pull it out of the equation. And here we go. Oh yeah, there's a difference. There is a difference. Hello, people. Oh, man. Okay, let's do it one more time. In, out. Back in. I'm going to tilt it more towards it. Oh, that bends pretty good. Okay, that's pretty good. And here's a little further away from me, too. I don't know. So now you can see, well, this is good that I'm doing it here, so this is a different way I could use it. All right, so now while it's angled like this, I'm just going to bring the light intensity down. So it looks like there, that's 37%. According to the waveform monitor, I believe I'm underexposed, but on the monitor, it looks great. I don't know which way to go here. I mean, I should just follow the waveform monitor, but I'm stubborn. I like what my eye sees. I like to go where my eye sees things. Now I'm putting on gold. It's the last part of the test. This is gonna feel like sunlight. Bringing intensity up, now we're at 63%. This is the gold reflector, as you can see there. Well, actually, you probably can't see because I haven't tilted up, but this is gold. All right, then we're gonna bring it up to 100, boom! In theory, according to that waveform monitor, I'm still not blown out. I'm hoping I'm there. I think I've been slightly out of focus this whole time. I apologize, but I could document this rough test with you guys or just do it completely alone and you never even know what's going on. All right, and off. And there's what it looks like off. Amazing, right? On. Boom. All right, guys, we're done. This is the Westcott Eyelighter 3. I'm gonna test this out in post. Obviously, the results are gonna end up in this little test video. And I will be doing a video about the port keys monitor. It hasn't shut off again. Again twice though. The port keys monitor, it acted like it lost signal. It just went away and came back on. It didn't affect recording. I'm not recording to it. I'm recording into the Canon, so I don't know if it's an issue or not. We'll have to figure that out. And I've got other things that I'm testing. I've got the iFootage Nano Shark or Shark Nano slider, and that looks very interesting. I'm definitely gonna test that out very soon. I got to get all this stuff tested really this week, and I say this week, but this video might not come out for over the course of a couple of weeks or a month. The schedule is absolutely insane. I am booked out to the end of 2022. I am booked out till 2023. It's great. I've got that much work lined up, and now it's just okay, now you got to do all that work and keep up the vlog and finish the Cue the Muses launch. Get everything ready that you're going to do for the launch, because we're going to release the first episode in November. We haven't made an official announcement about that yet, but it's happening. It's going to happen. All right, take care, guys. Peace.
Movie Voice.